Do. Hey, we're live. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, and there's some honey-made graham crackers that my boy left. He's like, "Can I have crackers?" He pulls out graham crackers. Anyway, good morning. This is the goat guy. This is my Billy Goat. His name is. What's his name? I don't know. Gabby the goat. This is Gabby. Hi, people out there. Oh, hi, Bubbles. Oh God, you gonna attack Gabby? Bubbles gonna get Gabby. She's gonna get him. Anyway, this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I'm going a little insane. About 5:49 in the morning. It's Tuesday, and here we talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way. And I'm playing with the fate here with the cat, and we just talk about ideas, how to give you more free time. I'm going to say it right now. This is right at this point. Side gigs, have some fun with your kids. You get an extra hour and a half a day if you're not commuting like me. Build more value for your customer in a very lean way. Save yourself some money while you do it. Don't overextend yourself and end up working, 60 hours a week plus, and have some fun along the way and balance work and life. Except though we got a monster cat that's going to take out the whole camera. She's crazy. Anyway, I should video. If I had my phone, I'd videotape you right now because she's just staring at the goat. She's fun. Oh, she just took the goat out. Oh, she took the goat out. What are you doing? Here. There's a cattail going nuts over here. Because she ate, she got some water, she's all crazed up now. She just wants to play. 5:30 in the morning. Anyway, I think we were off topic, right? I feel bad. Anyway, so let's talk about stuff, geeky stuff, right? Geeky stuff. I use Bubbles and Heart and the boy for extra likes, right? Clickbait. Anyway, so they're funny. I brought the goat because I bet my teams had my goat yesterday. I was having a rough day, to be honest with you. Some of the things that people were questioning and asking, I was like, really? So we're gonna talk about some things through the week of some of just the thought process that goes on in some people's brains. But I want to talk about some happy stuff, and I'm going to talk about sprint planning today and two different topics. One continuation from the other day from the topic, which I still got to make a smaller piece and distribute that, which I didn't do yesterday because it was all day meeting fest. I don't know why people do that on Mondays. But I want to talk about working from home and your sprint planning and just sprint planning in general, why you're remote, right? Or just tips to talk about for sprint planning and make it go easier and more efficient. So this is what I was thinking yesterday, and I brought this up yesterday in the show in case you missed it, was the idea that, because I did something some 25 years ago about helping them with my old Navy base's alternate work schedule. The idea is that in a 2-week sprint, one day I call it sprint planning day. You basically spend the entire day sprint planning, and in this day of issues and things like that, it's pretty much really handy to do, especially in a short condensed work week. I had one team that they actually appreciated, we actually went down to half-day increments in our sprint planning when we had longer vacation days, like 2 days off in the vacation. And we planned every day. They actually appreciated it because it knew exactly what they wanted to do, when they wanted to do it, and gave some structure to their week, and they really appreciated it. But the idea is that sprint planning day is that it's 1 out of 10 days. And the concept I was giving out yesterday was working from home on sprint planning day. Why couldn't you do it? And the idea is that if you're working from home, you save 10% of the air pollution in the environment, and you're helping the environment, right? You didn't do anything, but yet you get extra benefit. And what I wanted to talk about today is some of the benefits of working from home on sprint planning day. I would do a retro, right? I was telling a long time ago, I talked about retrospectives, where me and one of my teams, we would go to local restaurants in Philadelphia, or little snack shops or dessert places and try different things. I got to the point where my team was like, where are we going this day for retro? We want to go retro. Maybe working from home will encourage people. I really want to do sprint planning. I'm looking forward to sprint planning. I get to work from home. I'm going to get a couple extra hours. I'm going to be all pumped. I'm going to get this done. We're going to knock it out, be done with it, all planned out, everything good and go. So I get my extra hour and a half a day, right? And get to work from home, get some stuff done, whatever. But maybe that would be an encouragement, a benefit from working from home that one day a week and do sprint planning. The other thing, they're going to be more happy, right? Like, cool, I don't have to drive into work. It's awesome, And you get the extra bonus from not having to commute on the one day as a business. So that's one of the couple things I just want to bring up with the. I think it's a no-brainer, right? Do your sprint planning from home. Now, there's other groups. There was a comment the other day about maybe we should just do sprint planning and retro and demo in the office and all the other days work from home. Well, that's the extreme difference from what I think. And I really think during the day, I think developers and testers should be working. They get more productive when they're working together. However, you never know. Every place is different, right? But the idea of just having that one day, break the monotony. You're not in the office. You're home working. You're planning your next 2 weeks. You're going through and kind of stretching your brain, walking around, thinking about how you would solve problems. I think it would really be helpful. So anyway, I think it's a no-brainer. Take one day, do your sprint planning from home. Now that we have all this remote practice, we should be pretty good at it. Now, the other thing on sprint planning, and this is the geeky part, right? How do you do sprint planning? Well, first, what I would look at is the set of stories. So we talked about sprint planning where there's a first part, small part, where you're laying out what stories you want to work from a sprint. And you do, and it really, like we talked about before, it can only take you like 5 minutes to do sprint planning. This first part, if you've done it right, because you already have your stories, you know which ones, you know what the business needs. Maybe the only thing you're really talking about is that delta. So in case something comes up and you got to change, then you can react to it. Because you're only planning for 2 weeks. It's just 2 weeks. Should we even plan for 2 weeks, right? You think. So after you do that planning, what do you do? What do you kind of look at? And how do you not spend all day planning? Because people don't like being in meetings all day. Well, for the simple stories, you don't really need that much planning, right? You just need a couple things. And the voice down here at Bubbles has a spot. And she's just looking at him like, I'm not getting up. What are you doing? She's looking at you. Anyway, so in sprint planning, you don't spend a lot of time on those simple stories. There's nothing to really task. It's like I code something, I test it, and it's done, or I make a small change. You don't need to dwell on that from a tasking perspective. However, what I would really like to suggest is that spend the time in those more complex stories. I'd rather spend an hour talking about, as a group, how to solve a complex story that might be in your sprint, come up with different alternate solutions. So don't spend any time tasking out. Well, I mean, task them, but don't really spend any time thinking about the small, minor stories where you're just making minor changes. But in the complex ones, maybe during sprint planning day, let's say you got 15 stories and 5 of them are complex. You as a group maybe set some meetings during the day to discuss those 5 stories. Maybe you probably don't need an hour. I don't think there's any story that's that complex you need to talk. Especially if you thought about it for a while and you want to express some ideas, get some feedback from people, and then adjust your ideas and your plan of attack for how you're going to solve your problem. Maybe it's just 20-minute discussion. Maybe you have just an hour long, and don't do it all at once. Don't do it all in 1 hour. Maybe do a couple in the beginning, and everybody's going to have some stories, but maybe you do a little, space it out a little bit, give yourself some time to think about and reflect on what the answers were. And the other thing, the reason why I say this, Because on the complex ones, and this is where people's different thought processes come into place. You have dev and test, and I know everybody's supposed to have the same capability, but it doesn't really happen all the time. I wish it was. It'd be nice. But some people have better skill sets than some things. So one of the nice things about getting everybody in the complex systems, the testers have a different perspective than developers on the solution to the problem. By having them together on these more complex questions, they bring up questions and test cases and use cases that developers may have not thought of. And developers will say, I was just thinking about I was going to do my unit testing based on the sequence, but based on what you told me, it says maybe I need a couple more unit tests or make this a variable because I can see using this data in different places. So I don't want to fix it or anything like that. And you really shouldn't fix code, right? Fix variable coding. But those are the kind of things that you talk about, and it gives you a better solution in the end. So those more complex ones are those the ones you talk about. The rest of it's real simple. You just blow through it, write a couple of stories or tasks. Like I always say, and I said, well, because when people have tasks, I like to have two tasks at least. I have test and dev and test, right? So dev is DEV and test is TEST, and there's a return. So the most keystrokes I ever ask my team when I write tasking is 7. It's all the letters that I really need when we do these stories, because usually they're small enough that I just want to make sure dev is done and when test is done, and that they hand off and do the exchange. Anyway, so that's what I want to talk about. So again, I think working from home for sprint planning after this is all over is a good thing. It's going to prep up your people, make them more happy. Maybe they'll be encouraged to do sprint planning more than not encouraged to do sprint planning, and they'll enjoy it more and get a bonus that they don't have to drive into work and they don't have to commute and save environment. 10% reduction in commuting pollution. I think it's a winner. And the other one is when you are sprint planning, just talk about and discuss the more complex ones. The simple ones, just writes there's 2 words, dev and test. The only 2 words you need on the simple stories, right? But then talk about the complex so you get the different perspectives, different opinions, different solutions, different diversity and responses for those more complex ones. And then in what you do 20 minutes a thing, if you have 5 stories that are complex, you're talking not much time, less than 2 hours, right? That you need to meet together. So with that, thumbs up. Hey, ring the little bell. Yeah, we get geeky on the show, everyone. It's not all about Coke and Mentos and cats. Sometimes it is, though. You got to have some fun, right? Anyway, take care. Have a great day. Happy Scrumming. It is Tuesday, and enjoy your day. Bye. See ya.